You probably shouldn't go, Margaret. I bet your boyfriend won't like you going on a camping trip with 2 dudes.
Ugh, what boyfriend? I'm not seeing anyone right now. Guys are jerks.
God, I know, right? Guys are the worst.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now, throughout my life so far, I would say I'm a pretty social guy. And I've had the privilege of meeting a lot of different kinds of people, you know? Like intelligent people that I know are going to do great things one day. People who are dreamers that are just really goal-oriented and got huge aspirations they want to achieve in life. And certain man who think wearing a whole jacket in summer is normal, fam. Like, you're weird, bro, you're weird. But that's beside the point. I've met and spoken to a lot of people in my life. And I'm not trying to say I'm a huge extrovert or anything, because I low-key be trying to avoid conversations as much as possible. But it's just that I just know a couple of people. And the thing I've realized about some of the people I've encountered is some people are just hella down bad, fam. Now, there's nothing wrong with actively trying to pursue someone. I mean, it's a normal stage in human evolution. Man encounter women, man take women out, and then 3 years later, the guy's paying child support. We know the cycle already, we do. But certain people would just be doing too much weird shit to even talk to somebody. And I think I know the reason why. This mentality stems from shows we used to watch, fam. Because I'm telling you, some of the characters in shows we would watch would be doing the most just to even get a whiff of somebody's hair. It was weird as hell, man. And I thought I would take the time today to mention some characters that were doing way too much, man. But without further yapping, let's get into the conversation for the nation. And we start with one of the biggest bums of anime history, Kazuya from Rent a Girlfriend. And I'm gonna keep it real here. I used to rock with this anime differently. I used to really like Rent a Girlfriend back when it first dropped. I thought it was a really good romance anime at the start, and low-key, I never missed an episode. Every time one of my friends would tell me the next episode just dropped, I'll be speeding home to go watch that shit. I'm gonna be honest right here. However, as the time went on and I consumed more of that show, I ain't gonna lie to you, Kazuya is proper down bad, and it's not even a joke. This guy will be spending hard-earned money. His parents will be sending him money for him to just spend time with a girl who's just doing it as a job. This guy is fiending for her. Kazuya was really out here spending this bread, this hard-earned money on somebody to just spend time with them, and she was doing the exact same routine with other people she was going on dates on. The girl was following a whole script, fam. Oh my days, bro. But you know, for a period of time watching this, I didn't really blame Kazuya. Before we even started taking Chizuru out, the guy was heartbroken, devastated, starstruck. Guy's girlfriend just broke up with him out of nowhere. I mean, look at the guy's face. He was shocked as hell. And just going off topic here, his ex was an actual demon. And don't let her find this for you. She was low-key conniving and evil as hell. She was out here trying to sabotage Kazuya so bad, she would clown this guy in front of all his friends and literally tried to manipulate him and stalked him like crazy. She was evil, man. She was evil. She used to have scenes in the anime where she looked like she had no soul, man. It was crazy. But Chizuru was low-key taxing this man. In the first episode, when Kazuya first meets Chizuru and slaps her the doll, you can see that there's about 40,000 yen there. And doing some quick maths here, this guy was spending about 200 pounds just to pretend he has a girlfriend, bro. Now, I'm not gonna lie, 200 pounds isn't a lot in today's economy. Shit, it's probably enough to get you by on a burger meal at KFC. But that's a lot of money to be dishing out when it's not even your money, it's the money your parents gave you. What are we even talking about here? But this isn't the worst part about the finances. So Kazuya and Chizuru have been doing the whole rent-a-girlfriend shebang for a while now. They've been doing it for about 300 chapters. And the amount of bread Kazuya has dropped on Chizuru is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, Kazuya has spent about 2.8 million yen on Chizuru. Now in dollars, that's about 19k, and in pounds, that's about 14k. So he's out here spending some people's whole salary on Chizuru, knowing damn well Chizuru does not like him like that. This guy's a certified gooner, bruv. But you know what? I waited. I was willing to look past this because I would think that later on they would be together and the whole renting thing between them would have just fizzled out or something. But that shit never happened. And then I dropped the anime because it was complete ass, bro. Kazuya has had no character development whatsoever, and it's actually disgusting. This guy has no goals, no achievements, and spends his hard-earned money later. Like, he gets a job later just to keep taking a girl out who doesn't even like him like that. What makes this even worse is that Kazuya literally has a girl in the show that likes him. Ruka has shown time and time again that she likes Kazuya. Most of the time she shows up, she's always trying to upstage Chizuru or flipping just do some shit with Kazuya. But somehow this guy is so whipped over Chizuru, he doesn't see it. This guy sucks, man. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna go into this one too much because I don't think this will survive a court case, I'll be real. But that's beside the point. Kazuya had a girl that liked him, and yet he still tried to pursue Chizuru, even though Chizuru didn't like him. And as I was scrolling through TikTok, I just found out that in one of the latest chapters of the manga, Chizuru rejects Kazuya. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I saw this, I thought that shit was whack, bruv. But look, how I think most romance anime is supposed to go is that it's supposed to be a slow burner. You know, it's meant to have that whole build up of the two love interests gradually getting closer as the anime continues. But the most important thing here is pace. How long does it take for two people to get together without it looking like the rides are just straight up milking it? Because if they do drag it and make that shit too long, you're just gonna fall out of it. And that's the whole issue with Rent a Girlfriend. This shit is so long for no reason. Why the hell is it 308 chapters for him to get told no? That doesn't even make any sense. What was the whole point of it then? And Kazuya stayed down bad the entire show. He had no development. He didn't change. The guy was still mad shy and timid around Chizuru the whole series. The guy was constantly trash. In conclusion, Kazuya sucks. Chizuru was dead off swiping his money. My man is gonna stay down bad forever. This guy's a proper bum. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's a proper bum. Now going going on to my next character, we're gonna talk about Denji from Chainsaw Man. And this guy, Denji, is an absolute sicko. This guy is one of the most down bad characters in all of anime. I mean, right at the opening, Denji's on at least getting pulled by Makima. What the hell is that about? Get your freaky ass home, man. But Denji is proper down bad. And to be fair, I don't blame the guy as well. Denji's life before he became the Chainsaw Man was some bullshit. This guy was in an endless level of debt. Debt so bad, he was out here selling his body parts. And even that wasn't enough to cover it. So he went out there killing some devils. But that still wasn't enough to cover his debt. And the debt isn't even his fault. The guy inherited it. His dad hold him. But that don't matter because later on he becomes the Chainsaw Man. And he starts piecing up and gives the Yakuza that mess with him an unmatched ass whooping. And then from this point, Makima decides to let Denji join him. And from this moment on, ladies and gentlemen, Denji was doing way, and I mean way too much here. After he joined Makima, there's a scene where they're about to eat their lunch. And Denji had to ask permission to eat his own food. Makima lets him and then asks him, can you eat the food on your own? And then this guy, Denji, out here taking a whole 10 minutes, having a whole revelation and epiphany. He was out here doing some next level thinking. So then he tells her he can't eat the food by himself. So then Makima just starts feeding him the food like he's one baby. This guy has no self-respect, bruv. Then he was just snipping over Makima the entire season, saying his goal is to grab some front. You feel me? Power then overhears his goal and she's like, if you can get that cat back, I'll let you grab my chest. And this got Denji so motivated, fam. The guy was getting pumped out like he was a Mori cameraman or some shit. The guy was talking crazy. So after Denji finessed the Bat Devil ferociously, I'm talking about he pieced him up, he successfully got the cat back. And now he starts getting to his business. And while he's going at this guy just starts getting a depressed realization. His Power scammed him using pads to make her front seem bigger. The guy was scammed. So the guy couldn't even get in there properly. It's peak out here, I'm not gonna lie. So later on he pulls up to Makima and these guys were just out here doing some freaky ass shit. I don't know what the hell was going on here. And then Makima places his hand on her chest and this guy just started spazzing out differently, looking like he had a stroke. Bro was tweaking it. And then this guy's freaky ass just gets riled up when Makima's like, if you kill the gun devil, I'll let you do anything. And Lord knows what the hell Denji's thinking about. Look at his shocked freak ass, bro. He's deep in all the possibilities and everything he can do. This guy was feeling differently here. My guy was doing a whole brain blast from Jimmy Neutron here. This guy's a sicko. Denji being down bad got so bad at one point. I think this guy had one of the most weirdest scenes in anime history. So him and Himeno just start kissing, going crazy. And during that shit, she just straight out vomits in Denji's mouth, bro. That's disgusting. But this wasn't even the worst bit. It was the fact that Denji full on drank the vomit. This guy's disgusting, bro. Oh my day, you stink, fam. Nah, that's nasty, man. You's a freaky ass. That's revolting, fam. Denji really drank the whole thing like he had nothing to lose. This guy's nasty, man. But to be fair, right after he lips her, he started vomiting out in the toilet. So fair play, Denji. Fair play. Denji was moving crazy out here, feeling for the girls and Chainsaw Man differently. I was feeling bad for him. Every time he was going out there to mash up somebody or doing his job, he was only doing it because he wanted to get to second base with Makima. But you know what? I can't lie to you. I don't blame Denji. You feel me? You gotta do what you gotta do. Going on to my next character, we have Mordecai from Regular Show. Now, we all know collectively that Mordecai is one of the most down bad people in history. This guy just sucks. Every time he would have an interaction with Margaret, this guy was struggling. Never got his words right or even knew what the hell he was doing. Like one time, this guy was drooling over Margaret. He was feeding over her. It got so bad that Rigby would be consistently throwing this man the best assist ever. Rigby was out here doing some D-weight level assists. And every time Rigby was out here helping him, Mordecai would fumble every single one of them. And then this guy had the cheek to say to Rigby, he's ruining his chances with Margaret. Shut the hell up, man. What are you talking about? Mordecai was out here doing the most for Margaret. Like paying for a full-on double date of 4 people that he didn't even go on. He drove all the way to her college to deliver her sweater, to even somehow hitting a whole bear through a flipping wall. How the hell did Mordecai overpower Deathbed? The math ain't mapping it. The point is, Mordecai would be going above and beyond for Margaret sometimes, even selling out his own friends to do so. But at the same time, Margaret never rated Mordecai like that. Even though there were times they were gradually getting closer and it looked like they were going somewhere, Margaret did not like this man. Even though this was true, she told the guy his breath stinks. No one is recovering from that, bro. I swear. That gonna be the hardest thing one person can hear in their life. Imagine a girl you like told you your breath stinks. I'm signing out, I'll be honest. However, this wasn't the worst thing Margaret's done to Mordecai, because in a whole different episode, Muscle Man and Mordecai make a bet to see if Mordecai can get a kiss from Margaret, and if he can't, he has to wear a diaper. And when Margaret found out about this, she just swerves Mordecai so he has to wear a diaper. It was peak here, I'm not gonna lie, it was sad. This girl went out of her way to completely embarrass him. But even after this, Mordecai was still fiending over Margaret. This guy pissed me off, man. But Margaret didn't like Mordecai enough. She literally broke up with him for no reason. And Mordecai was somehow still getting mixed feelings about Margaret, which annoyed the hell out of me in Regular Show. And the one thing that made me hate Mordecai's love life completely was for how this guy was treating CJ. CJ rated Mordecai heavy, and she wasn't even just some toxic weirdo or some manipulative bozo. CJ liked Mordecai, and Mordecai liked CJ. They were doing good here until Margaret comes back and sees them and just tries to completely bottle their relationship. She literally came out of nowhere and said she still liked Mordecai. And as much as I don't like Margaret, that wasn't the problem here. The flipping issue here was that this shit got to Mordecai. Mordecai. At Muscle Man's wedding, this guy said he doesn't know who his soulmate is in front of everyone. And this shit pissed me off, man. Mordecai, you fumble. Margaret was getting to this guy's head. And then Mordecai had no one for the rest of the regular show, and that was probably for the best. As much as I can understand Mordecai's perspective and how Margaret affected him, he let the only good thing he had get away, which wasn't making any sense. The guy low-key sabotaged himself. CJ liked him, and he liked CJ. But as soon as Margaret comes in for like 5 seconds, now all of a sudden you switch up. Mordecai, what the hell, man? And now for the final character. And this person hands down used to strike fear in my heart as a kid. I'm talking about when I was seeing him on screen, I'll be getting the heebie-jeebies and be feeling the same way as the character that's afraid of them. This person wasn't just down bad, but they were just straight up a weirdo. But without a further introduction, I present to you Panini from Chowder. Let's straight away just cut the shit. Panini was just straight up crazy. Chowder was getting tormented by this girl. It was criminal to be watching as a kid. Like the episode where she manipulates Chowder into raising a flipping blue banana, saying it's their baby, guilt tripping him, crying and shit, making this guy feel bad because Chowder's obsessed with food. So she's manipulating his whole obsession with food to get him to be close with her. This girl was insane, I swear. And when Gazpacho tried to save Chowder, she went crazy and just started finessing him. She was just moving insane the entire show. Like the time when she threatened Chowder to hold her hand and her hand started burning his hand. She was low-key a psycho. She would get so jealous she would breathe fire. There was a time when she declared child marriage legal so she could marry Chowder straight up. Chowder at one point was chained up and Panini took advantage of this, forcing him to spend time with her. She's evil, man. She was evil. But the irony in all of this is that they get married in the future, having a whole football team of kids. So really, all of that weird stuff Panini was doing with Chowder his entire childhood went in the right direction she wanted anyway. This girl, Panini, was on a whole different level of being down bad for Chowder, when there was literally a guy named Ceviche who wanted her, but then she still wanted Chowder. Panini was just really delusional, and I just felt bad for Chowder every time he was around Panini, because with how many times Chowder would tell her, I'm not your boyfriend, she was still trying too hard to get to him. But free Chowder, Panini was a crazy woman. She was insane, man. But these were some characters that were down bad and doing way too much for some people's attention. If you guys got any different ones or just disagree with the ones I mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.